I have an event in 1 week from today. We have to prep this whole car basically today, so we're gonna hop right into it. We have a lot to get done. One last wheel. Yeah. Moral of the story is I need way more negative camber. That is crazy. Now that I got all of the wheels off the car, I am working on bleeding and flushing all of the old brake fluid out of the car. This track fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs water. It sits, absorbs that water, water boils. Not very good on track, so we're going to flush all of that out. I already took the liberty of using my little vacuum pump to suck as much as I could out of the reservoir here. And now, as you can see, I'm working in the back here. I'm going to fill this with new fluid. We're going to start flushing to the longest line and work our way forward until everything has brand new, fresh fluid. And we'll be able to... What is that noise? Ooh, we're sucking that dry. That's not good. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. We need fluid. I got this reservoir filled up now. It's no longer gurgling for air. I'm using Motul RBF 600 as my brake fluid. Now that I just emptied out the master, I'm going to go and make sure that I suck fluid, new fluid at least, all the way back through to the farthest lines, and I guess I'm starting the process of bleeding the brakes. Hopefully I don't have to actually bench bleed the master again, because I'm not going to do that. What a pain. Oh! Ooh! Knee right onto a pebble. That was like stepping on a Lego. Son of a biscuit. Oh. Oh, that just went into my knee. Shoot. Okay. I am going to top up the reservoir here. Let me pump this thing up. I know I have speed bleeders. I guess it kind of makes this obsolete, but down. Yeah, okay. That fluid looks much better. Okay, and up. Move to the inside one. And down. Down. Up. Nice. Like a half reservoir. Top this guy off. It is time to do differential fluid. I actually haven't done this since I installed this differential in the car, which is also when this differential was brand new, because this was out of a box that hasn't seen the light of day since like 2003. So when you're doing differential fluid, you always want to try cracking loose the top fill port first, because at the very least, if you can't get that one off, then, I mean, at least you have fluid in there. But if you break the bottom one free and drain all the fluid and you can't get the top one off, you're kind of screwed, because then it's empty. So we're going to go first, trying to remove this top one. I don't think I have a socket this big, so I'm using an adjustable wrench. But what size would it be? Looks like 30 millimeter. Oh boy. There we go. Nope. Holy moly. Oh, no way. Okay, we gotta think of a plan B. Kind of asking less now. Holy crap, that's so tight still. Well, we got her. I found a socket, by the way. I do not have the differential temperature sensor that this particular Torsen R180 came with wired in, but maybe sometime in the future I will wire it in. It's not necessarily needed for anything. It's kind of weird that it's draining out already, but okay. It doesn't smell good. Oh, shoot. Oh, there we go. Did I crack it free enough? Oh, whoa. Oh, alright, it's just dark. We'll see how much schmoo is on the magnet in a second. Oh yeah, that's shiny. I got my Gear 300. I got my adjustable gallon and quart spout here. I got this from Home Depot. It was 98 cents. I'm hoping that it makes this process a little bit easier. We will see. I'm gonna try going over the sway bar. The capacity is 0.8 liters, so I'm gonna jam this entire liter bottle in here. I think it's slightly under 1 liter. Oh yeah, that's just about full, so I'll see what I can do about jamming this last little bit in. Alright, well this little funnel thing worked pretty good. That's pretty cool. Rear differential fluid has changed. We are doing a transmission fluid change. So what we got here is there's 2 drains on this transmission. There's one for the front diff area, which is going to be through my Cusco brace, and then there's the main drain, which is a 14 millimeter right on this little sump here. The one for the front diff is a 21 millimeter. I want to first start by cracking the sump loose here and letting her drain, and then we will do the front diff. Ooh. Alright, well, so far so good. It doesn't look bad. Yeah, she looks, at least that looks good so far. Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. Oh! Fudge! Fudge! Oh. Okay. Focus. Oh, how much of a mess am I gonna make doing this? Oh, the answer is yes. It's a big mess. There's very little on this magnet, which is good. I'll show you that in a second. There's like nothing on this. This is 2 years on this fluid. It's barely anything. I'm not too concerned about that, that's for sure. We got drain plugs reinstalled into the transmission. Now, I'm going to fill this from the dipstick, not the little galley plug in the side. I think it'll be easier. I'll use this and either cut a jug to use as a funnel. We're going to jam it down in here. I'll get you set up to see that. I think this is going to be the best way. I'm going to come in, my finger covered, turn the bottle upside down, and I think that... Oh, there's no way. Okay, I'm glad that I went for a test run first. Much smarter this time. I just found a quart jug and actually cut the top off, so... Feed this bad Larry down in here. We're gonna need 4 liters. We're gonna go with more Gear 300. Using this because it has had good results for me on track. If you're doing this on your normal Subaru, mileage may vary. Alrighty, we got a little over just about 4 liters in here. Get this thing seated all the way in. Drip everywhere. See where we're at. Transmission fluid changed. Let's check that off the list. Next step, this should be an easy win. We are going to replace the cam position sensor, which is tucked down here on the right side head. That was tight. Okay. Let's connect her off. All right. And it came right out, so looks fine. But we'll try a new one. Identical in every way. Put her back in. Perfect. Cam position sensor changed. It is getting pretty late. I have to grab parts out of the storage unit, and it is past gate time, so that is not happening tonight. But one more thing that I can do right now is I want to replace the hood scoop, which wasn't functional anyway. I had a block off plate underneath here with the ARC hood scoop. Woo! Here we go. This is our ARC reverse hood scoop. This guy is going to sit on the car just like so. Air comes in, feeds the turbo area to cool it. This vent evacuates the high pressure air underneath the hood to help with cooling. I do need to do some serious repairs to this. This front lip here is cracked. Well, I done fixed it with some duct tape. We're going to go throw this thing onto the car, get her mounted up, bolted in place. I think that this is going to help me keep the turbo area and my wastegate area a little bit cooler on track, which is going to help me boost better. Cool. Okay, let's get this thing on there. I am missing 3 washers. Got my hot glue gun out. I don't know why I already had this thing going, but I'll just put a little dabble do ya. This should look pretty dang good though. Heck yeah. All right, well, check that one off the list. That's good. Next thing I think that I can do is add some more negative camber. To do so for my car, crack the nuts that hold the lateral links free, and then I just spin these adjustable knobs here. That's one. Let's do that and go all the way around. Cool. Next night, back in the garage, I have the bottom mounts removed from both of the front coilovers. These are going to be modified. We added a ton of camber in the rear. We might as well add camber up front. I'm going to take a carbide burr and I'm going to extend these top slots here. I already marked them with an awl, so I know where the slot actually goes, and I'll match the radius as best I can. All right, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so let's just try it. I feel like I need a bigger one. I don't know. Oh boy. That's not bad. Okay. The slot is way bigger. I mean, compared to, that'd be the equivalent. So, extended that by a good amount. I will measure that and match it on the other one. 645. What do we get here over here? 885. 645 and 885. So we have this slot here extended by 0.24 inches. That seems like a lot. So we will do the same thing to the rest of the slots. See, the slots are bigger. I have measured these. These are equal from part to part. So theoretically, if I just jam these all of the way back, just like kind of they were, you know, they'll be equal side to side. And then I can use the camber plates up top to actually adjust the camber a little more depending on how much I get out of this. I'm going to go throw these things back in and see if it's at least a little bit more noticeable with the amount of camber. Slot this guy in here and starting right in that position there. Righty tighty. All right, that felt like a promising click. There we go. Whew, all right, there's my half turn. 50 of those to go. 49 and 50. Whew. That was tough. Slide our lock nut back down. Kind of help hold things in place for us. And then I'm going to get this bad Larry back on the knuckle. I might need my jack to lift it up enough to get it in place though. A little exaggerated because of the angle of the camera here, but that is quite a bit more camber. Heck yeah. Next step, since now we have all the camber and I completely ruined the alignment. What I have here is some plastic drop cloth sheeting. Got this from Home Depot. I've used it a couple times. I'm going to be putting this underneath each of the four wheels on top of some cinder blocks so I can get underneath the car. The car will have a load on it, and I can align the car and use these as a little turn pad for the tires. Sheets on our cinder blocks here. Go ahead, carefully. Wow, I can't believe that's actually going carefully. I do want this to be perfect, so I'm gonna slide that guy forward a little bit. Cool. All right, I will hop around on the front end a little bit to get this to settle, and then we'll go do the back. 5 hours of aligning later, this thing has the best alignment I think that it's ever had, and I was honestly just trying to originally throw something together. First thing that I did was, in those fancy kits, there's notches in the aluminum extrusion to line your strings up and make sure that they're equally spaced front to back. Previously, I have used this setup on another car, and I had measured and made sure that my strings are exactly spaced equally with both front and rear poles. The next thing in the process was going through and painstakingly making sure that the distance from the hub to the string, front and rear, and side to side, was equal. And then I did the same in the rear, came back, did the front again, did that Oh, no. There goes my string alignment. No freaking way. Dang. Dude, don't do that. Well, if the string was here, what I would do is measure the distance from the rim of the wheel out to the string on the front and then in the rear. Write that down in my notebook and then look at the difference between to determine if the wheel was toe in or toe out. And then I would adjust the tie rod ends in the front or the lateral links in the rear to get my desired settings. It took me 6 tries to get kind of what I think is going to be a good baseline setting for this car. I wound up with way more negative camber, 3 degrees of negative camber all around, and I wound up with just a shade of toe in the rear and 0 degrees of toe in the front. So that's way better than whatever we had before. I'll take it. Next step from here is to fix the fuel filter. All right, you can see that I have already kind of obliterated this area. I cut some zip ties just now, but there's a tear in the floor. This is not a good situation. That is my fuel filter. Because I'm a gigantic idiot and I ran out of time, I just decided to mount the fuel filter next to the frame rail here, which I thought would keep it protected. But as you can see, it's now the lowest point on the car right here. That's not good. And turns out it bottoms out on and off the trailer almost immediately, which is why this pipe clamp, which was a stupid idea to hold it on anyway, tore the floor out. Clearly the car is facing the other direction. It is the next day. We have gotten quite a bit done. The last thing we left off doing was creating a box to raise the fuel filter up so that it was no longer the lowest point on the car. I don't have any fuel line and I have to leave and put the car in the trailer like tonight. So this is my best option. I created a box basically in the floor and just lifted the fuel filter higher. To be honest, I don't like that solution at all, but given the time that I have, that's all that I can really do. I'm going to patch the floor, weld a new rectangle in, and relocate the fuel filter somewhere more appropriate that is also protected from both the heat of the exhaust and anything that would kick up off of the road. I also plasti dipped the hood scoop, reverse hood scoop, white. Probably should have just left it black. It doesn't look very good, glossy white. It'll look very good matched to the car though. I also removed this guy from the car. This is the Cobb lightweight crank pulley. I think that this is causing some issues with harmonics in the crank. So I am removing this and I put a stock one in its place and I have a fluid damper pulley on order to replace this guy. So I spun this thing around. It runs beautifully, which kind of scares me a little bit. Don't things run the best right before they don't run the best? Anyway, one thing I discovered on my little test drive to spin this around is I have no brakes. I believe that when I was doing bleeding the brakes and I ran the master dry, I ran the master dry. So I think I'm going to have to bench bleed the master and try my best not to make a huge mess. Re-bleed the rear brakes because they're just like straight to the floor spongy. It's crazy. Cool, I don't see any air bubbles. I would consider the master cylinder re-bled. So now we're gonna try to jam the brake line back on. I lost the outer washer, so we have to locate that. And then we're gonna try re-bleeding the brakes from the back, I guess. Woo!